Hey everyone, this is Kent Lewis here at Spark, and we are here with our administrative extraordinaire, our purchasing manager, and also the local residential comedian here at Spark, the infamous, the well-known Jonathan Bass.
Thank you, Kent. All of that sounds like I do nothing here, doesn't it?
I don't think so. I think it sounds like we do a lot. I think you do a lot here.
Well, thanks for I'm glad I'm here.
Hey, you know what we're doing?
These don't sound like this doesn't sound like a script at all.
It doesn't. It's not scripted.
I love being here.
Do you?
Every day is a dream.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Every day is imagined.
Are you living your dream?
Yeah.
Hey man, why don't you tell everyone just a little bit about yourself?
My name is Jon Bass. I work here at Spark, as Kent said. I like music. I like to play music. I'm in a band. I'd like to be in another band if anyone wants to be my band friend, follow me, stalk me. I also do comedy around Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio areas. So that's new to me, but it's a lot of fun. I have a dog, and she's old. I have a mom, she's also old. I have 2 daughters. How far are we going into this?
Keep going.
Do you need my social security number?
No, but I think 2 daughters would be great. You got one going to college soon, I believe, right?
Do you need to know what road I grew up on?
No, I don't think so.
Do you need to know my mother's maiden name?
I think that would be too much.
I'll tell you.
No, it's okay.
Okay. She probably wouldn't want that on the internet. So, yeah, that's me.
Born and raised here?
No, I'm from Tennessee. I live in Kentucky now. I've been here. I lived in Danville for 6 years, and now I live in Lexington. I've been here since 2016 or something. So, yeah, I'm from here. I say I'm from Lexington now. So, yeah, it's a cool place. It's chill.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Hey.
why don't you, since everybody get to know yourself, why don't we talk a little bit about how you came to Spark?
So I worked for a long time in the automotive industry, and I left that job in August of 22. And for a few months, I was just like out on the road doing as much comedy and music as I could for a few months. But, bills add up, so I had to, But luckily, one day I was honestly, it was really things were really getting nervous. I was a little nervous, and I just hit up Conrad, and I was like, "Hey, man, any of those gigs you ever got, let me know, because I'm looking for something." He was like, "Okay," and then he's like, "Yeah, come load this truck." And so he and I came and loaded the truck, and the truck was for one of the jobs out in Branson, and you guys asked me to go out there, and I drove the truck the first day, which I was like, please don't wreck this truck.
It's pretty loaded.
Don't wreck the truck. Just drive straight. But yeah, we did that first job. Well, that was my first job out there. And then when we got back after that, I guess you guys didn't think I sucked too bad, and you offered me a job. So
yeah,
I took it. It's the first job I've ever gotten where I did not have to submit a resume, drug screen, or background check. So it really worked out for me. Things went fantastic. Like it was one thing I'll say about Spark's hiring process is really streamlined. We may not need to add this into, I definitely felt.
You're welcome, by the way.
I felt blessed. Like I was genuinely overwhelmed with
I was trying
joy.
Yeah, and I think the best
to
thing
have
is
this new great job.
I was trying really hard to not let anything come into play to interrupt your hiring process. So I tried to make it as fast as possible.
Yeah, I felt like Joe Biden or something, dude. I was just like,
as I said, welcome to our residential comedian constantly. So I was going to ask a little bit about like, what's your role here? I know I mentioned a few things at the beginning, but with that, why don't you tell a little bit about the things that you do around here?
My main function, I guess, is purchasing. So that's internal and external. So for customers and stuff, I've been doing that, which is kind of just, as Matt may have mentioned, taking some stuff off his plate and your plate. That plus, I guess, getting some semblance of inventory control here. That's still a big one that is a work in progress because it's just, you know, we're waiting on this, that, and the other projects.
It's changing a lot.
Yeah. So trying to create some processes so that when we do get busy, we don't get flooded, we don't get overwhelmed with each little request, etc. So that was kind of my background in my last job. So I'm hoping I can help. You know, there's a lot of really talented people here, so it's kind of like sometimes I'm like, I don't know if anyone needs my help, but I think that's one thing we got to focus on. Also, some of the AV stuff. I'm have a background in audio a little bit, so been helping with that, which I really enjoy. I like to podcast. I have my own podcast, so I love doing this stuff. It's very fun to me. So
awesome. I think one of the things that we enjoyed on that first trip that you went on when you drove the truck.
You didn't actually go though.
I didn't go, but we enjoyed dealing with you because I'm the one that made the phone call. Can you please come drive this truck?
It was fun.
Is that I think you're just that you were the lightness you have, the joking around, the laughing, but also like you could always own something, right? You took ownership of anything that you were asked and said, I'm going to take this on, so forth. And that's been really great for us.
Oh yeah. I'll admit when I screw up, if that's what you're trying to say.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes.
First night, I think that I was out on that job with Conrad and everyone, I plugged a 5-pin DMX into a 3-pin hole. And I think it took all week to get the cable out. We just had to, finally Conrad did it. And then the whole trip, everybody just called me 3-pin. So that's like my new work site nickname is 3-pin. Yeah. So I'll take it though.
It's okay. Yeah. I wasn't going to go there, but I'm glad you went there. And
I was like, you said, you know, like I do like to own my
self. Good. What is your favorite thing about being part of this Spark team today so far that you've?
I feel like, and it may just be because I worked in such an environment that didn't foster any sort of creativity. That's sort of the machine that is automotive industry. But I feel like a good creative energy here. And so, you know, that's one thing I decided when I left my old job is like, I'm not going to do anything that's not in some way creative or fun or I enjoy. I'm not going to get stuck in another job. I'd rather just be broke than have a job that I hate. So, but luckily I don't have to be broke and I get to work here. So it's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I never dread coming to work or thinking about work at all. So anymore, I used to hate it. I used to hate my life. And that's why I quit and found this place. So
awesome.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about, Matt and I spoke earlier on a different podcast about the different tools we use internally. And we've been joking around about, you know, the stress of having like zero inbox or keeping a bunch of messages in your inbox and kind of how do you do your reminders and your, you know, jot things down. Give us a couple ideas of what tools do you use to your task list, and then tell us a little bit about your inbox for your messages and all those things.
So recently, since we started using Basecamp, I really like that. It does, I guess, match well with the way my brain works. I think whatever, like in the list format, kind of like that. I've been using Basecamp for stuff like this. I try to just keep it contained in Google, but I know that that's maybe not always the most efficient way. I have a task list. You know, you click a star or whatever. I don't know. I get overwhelmed with a bunch of different platforms. So I like to try and focus on maybe just a few. So right now I'm just doing Basecamp, Google, Dropbox, I guess. And then, you know, as new ones come along, I don't know. If I can do the same thing that they offer in one I'm already using, I'll just keep the one I'm using. But I don't know. I'm just kind of stubborn and a little bit like that.
How many unread text messages do you have currently?
0.
How many unread emails do you have currently?
Here's the tip. If you need to keep a 0 inbox, you got to have multiple emails. You got to have one email where all your crap goes. You got to have a work. You have to separate it. Then you can keep them at 0. But the one with all the junk, you can't keep that one at 0. That's just
it's junk. Hard.
Yeah. I mean, I just check them. I mean, also, I don't really, you know, no one really talks to me that much outside of yours.
What? That's not true.
No. I just check them. I try not to keep people waiting if I can. I mean, some people I ignore, but Everybody's got one or two people you ignore, right? I'm not the only one.
I don't think you're the only one.
Let's be real.
Is that
here.
called ghosted these days?
I think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think that's the word.
I would never go. I would never ghost you though.
No, I'd hope not.
I just want to say that in public here.
Thank you.
I always answer Kent's messages and phone calls because he's my boss,
Okay.
and that's part of the job.
It is part of the job,
Mhm.
even though you don't want to. I'd prefer to hit ignore, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. Well, hey, we've got to go back to this other question.
About something people don't know about me?
Yeah.
Crap. Okay, here's one. I just thought of it. I have a scar on my arm. You can't really see it, but when I was maybe 10 years old, I was riding a bike and I went around a corner and I got a bunch of gravel in my arm. So no one knows about that.
Oh.
I mean, my mom and dad probably know, but you guys didn't know that. So that's the only
Did
thing
the
I can think
shoelace
of.
get tied up in the thing? Is that how you went down?
I didn't have shoes till I was like 14 or 15.
Okay.
So
you just,
my
barefooted?
my parents are public school teachers, so we
Got it.
couldn't. Nope, no shoe. No shoe.
no shoes.
No shoe. Not even a shoe.
Well, what do you want to tell everybody out there before we end this? Anything special?
Got
any good jokes?
Not really.
You not today?
No. I got some stuff about my cousin, but I don't think it's appropriate for the podcast, really.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think nothing I say is probably really appropriate for business podcast, but I'm really reining it in right now. I just want you to
You're
know
doing a
I'm
great job.
holding it all in so much.
It's okay.
But no, I Spark's cool. Follow us everywhere, and you're here already, but hopefully you enjoy this content we're making and everything. So thank you.
Awesome.
Follow me at Jon Bass Comedy. Sorry, shameless plug. I'll do it. I don't care.
That's okay. You're good. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Thanks, John, for coming by and hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.